Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and it has been a long week so far. Tomorrow will be my 7th day of recovery, and I'm actually doing much better now. I can't, if I stand for long periods of time, I still get pretty bad headaches, and if I get too physical, my face just goes into agony. But in general, my quality of life has improved greatly, and I'm getting around, and I actually cooked some steaks tonight. And it's kind of the first time I've been up and moving. I DM'd last night for about 5.5, 6 hours. About 6 hours. And ran Tomorrow Comes Doom, the Frontier, which is my Old West campaign, and it actually went pretty well. So I think that I'm over the worst of it. And I guess tomorrow when I wake up, we'll see. I will tell you, that except for when I was a baby, I probably never slept this much. Tonight, on Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, we are making a RavenMocker. A RavenMocker is essentially a medium-sized humanoid shaman who has gone rogue and is either absorbing remaining life force from people or consuming their hearts. There are two methods in which the RavenMocker has been rumored to operate, and we're going to tell a story about one of the ways that they were known to operate right now. I have a couple, but now, just a disclaimer, I am not a Native American lore master in any way, nor am I an educated scholar of Native American lore, indigenous lore. I just read a bunch of different stories from the Sioux and Cherokee and went on a wiki and went down a rabbit hole that just kind of kept me going. And I learned a bunch of other lore, too, that was related and involved, but we're going to talk about this RavenMocker. So, basically, there's not too many ways to deal with a RavenMocker because they can be invisible to you. And if you do see one, they tend to die within 7 days, whether it's because you hunt them down and kill them or there's some mysterious consequence of being seen. There are a couple things you can do to see one. One, they can show themselves to you. For example, if you find their abode, you'll be able to see them in their abode. And they will offer you a present or a deal in an attempt to keep you from giving up their location, as that is their MO. Of course, they know who you are and where you're from at that point, so they're going to follow you home. We're going to take this miniature apart. We're going to steal his legs and his torso. And try to use this as our base. That should be good enough chopped up now to work with. So, if you want to see a RavenMocker, there's a couple things you can do. This guy had a missing leg and some other problems, so missing feet. He had drama. So his wings are going to become part of our RavenMocker. You can make a duckroot tea. And duckroot, which the best I can find in the modern world, is called yellow dockroot, but it used to be called duckroot by the natives here in the United States. The individuals who were here when the Europeans showed up. It is used for a lot of things and remedies, even today. Herbologists and people like that still use it. And basically, they use it for nasal and respiratory swelling, as a laxative, as a general health tonic. They use it to treat bacterial infections, STDs. Sweeney Todd, you know about that. And some people use it as toothpaste, as a natural toothpaste. All those things sound just swell. I'm not an herbologist. I do not practice can't think of the name of that kind of medicine, but I know that a lot of people do. It's interesting to me. It's not my bag. So we need something for our bird head. So we're going to take this ram staff from a Skeletor Dollar Tree guy. We're just rounding off some of the smaller points so there's no sharp edges. And we're going to cut that off here. We're going to snip the end of the nose off. Just like that. Could have left that ram head on there, even though that's not really lore accurate. It would be interesting. Now I've lost my front. I'm just getting glue in there to fill that gap and stringing it back to resemble hair. I'm going to get underneath here as a chin, grab a dab of glue, drag that down, do the same. I'm going to let that cool and come back and play with that more in a minute. We'll get him on the base before we do the beak so I have something easier to hold on to. The other way you could see them is to make a tincture out of muskrat brain. And that sounds pretty gross to me. But I'll tell you, after doing some research, apparently that was pretty common practice. Muskrat brain and muskrats in general have an enormous connection to both the Cherokee and the Sioux. All right, I need some baking soda to get a mount going here, unfortunately. So we're going to get a tiny bit there. So muskrats are a symbol of survival and adaptability. And there are creation stories where the earth was just water. And that muskrats swam down to the bottom of this primordial ocean and drug soil up and created the earth. It's part of the Iktomi, the creator god, like origin story. And it's pretty commonly believed by several different groups of people. The stories' names are different, like the person who was like the creator and stuff, but the muskrat as being like the character who precipitated a lot of like the creation. It's the muskrat across them. In one story I read that it was an otter, but in all the other ones it was a muskrat. Now our RavenMocker needs a beak. So for the beak, I'm going to get a tip of a toothpick and I'm going to cut it into a beak the best I can. So getting just the smallest, tiniest dab. Of hot glue. I stick the top one on, get into position, and then the bottom one so it has kind of an open mouth. Okay, that did not work. I need some heat. Are you kidding me? I got juice. Great. I don't know where the other one is either. I'm going to not lose that. Hello, fire. Where are you? My minor burning hand spell is out of charges. I need a new one. Ah, I found you, my friend. Oh, you don't want to lose that piece. Oh. All right. So, there was this badass dude named Chief Hippoto. Hippoto. Total badass. All right. So, we need to snip some of that off. But he insisted his shaman go into combat with him. And shamans were not always big combat people. They were kind of like the rear D. Rear D just means rear detachment, like the guys who don't deploy. My mouth is a little crooked. A little bit too crooked. Let's see if I can't get that over a little bit. Okay. So anyways, this shaman, Graham, which I'm not sure if it was Graham as in like grandma or what, but his name was Old Graham or something like that. He was forced to go into combat with Chief Hippoto, who was a super hip and happening fella. And he was angry. He said, I will die and we will be unprotected against our enemies. And they were like, no, you got to go, dude. You have to go brawl, dude. That's your choices. Like, you're going to brawl or we're going to have drama. So, old Graham goes to battle with Chief Hippoto at this place called Powhatan. And he gets killed, of course, just like he said he would. And there were other shamans, like, in the training to be shamans, but he was, like, the main dude. And he dies. And Chief Hippoto is like hurt. So they take Chief Hippoto and he's on his deathbed. And they all get terrified because they hear the sound of a raven crowing and mocking the voices of people who died in the battle. And so they abandon Chief Hippoto and they stay far away from him instead of trying to help him. They say, no, he's dead. We can do nothing for him. And then they go into this ridiculous thing where they just can't help him because of the RavenMocker. So poor Chief Hippoto is left by himself without any help to die. And many are like, had he not taken old Graham to this battle, to this horrible battle at Powhatan, he would not be suffering this. This is his own fault. Now, how true that is, we don't know. I wasn't there. You weren't there. But we can imagine that people were relatively unhappy with his decision. So the death of Chief Hippoto resulted in a horrible ordeal where they witnessed RavenMocker creeping up on him for a while, laying on him, pushing on his chest, stealing air from him. And then finally, on the day he died, the RavenMocker came, ripped his chest out, tore his heart out, nothing else, leaving no open wound or anything, just tore his heart out through his chest and consumed it. And the RavenMocker, which had looked old and shriveled and disgusting, began to look younger and healthier. Because what they do is they steal your remaining life. And that's what they did. The chief should have survived. And the RavenMocker took what was left. And they were so afraid to help him that they left him to his death. And that's kind of how the RavenMocker works. Now, in combat, I probably wouldn't run the RavenMocker that way, but we'll talk about that more in the next video where we paint this guy up. So please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment, and all the stuff that pleases the great algorithm spirits. And check out the website and the Discord. There's links for those in the description. In the description, you'll also find an awesome discount code for 25% off your first month of Dungeon Swag Minis. And we'd love to have you as a customer. Come check us out. There's a free mini offer on there too on the website. And if you get on the Discord, we'll give you a discount code there that'll make you pay no shipping and handling and no fee for your first free mini from us. You can see if you like our product. There's a lot of 3D printed stuff out there that's just not good. And we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to see that, some people's are good. So thanks for watching. Thanks for taking your time to hang out with me. And I'll see you next time.